Alright, we are back with another update for Outriders, as yesterday we were expecting the latest patch from the dev team to go live. I mean, they had already hinted that it was dropping early this week, and then we received this message over on Twitter stating that it was delayed. What's going on, everybody? It's LtBuzzLitebeer, and I know there were a lot of people out there that were getting geared up for this update and then got disappointed when it was postponed. So we are going to be taking a look at why, as the dev team left us a lengthy explanation, and I also wanted to concentrate on a few items that are planned to be in that patch. But before we dive into today's video, in case you aren't yet a sub, please smash that sub button for more intensive Outriders content, and don't forget to ring the bell to receive all future upload notifications from my channel. Jumping right into yesterday's Reddit statement from the Outriders comm dev, the Arkin, and he says, "Hi everyone, as you know we were hoping to release our latest patch today. We have, however, made the difficult decision to push the patch back to Thursday. We've explained this decision below. Please do take the time to read it as it contains important information. TLDR, we encountered a couple crash issues and need your help to determine the risk they may pose." Now, like I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of players, me included, that were getting geared up for this new patch, especially because I wanted to try out the Techno Borealis set. I was even streaming the game at the time that we received the notice that the patch had been pushed back. So let's keep reading the Reddit post because it explains why it was pushed back. During our final test of this latest patch, our team encountered two different crash scenarios as described below. Issue 1, a rare issue that after installing the patch appeared to cause the game to crash on launch for a small number of testers. After a certain number of these launch crashes, the game launched without any issues and the crashes did not reappear. Issue number 2, an issue that can cause the game to crash for players when returning to the lobby from a multiplayer session. Theory: this crash may only occur when one of the party members is a pyromancer and has specific skills, i.e. heatwave or overheat, and mods like tidal wave equipped. For me, I have seen the crashing issues after previous patches went live, even on PC, but after once or twice, the game just seems to work itself out and then works fine from that point on. So maybe there is some internal issue that just needs a few attempts to sort itself out. The second scenario is something I have never personally seen, because it sounds like players are crashing after being in an expedition session and then like they just return to the lobby to change characters and then the game just randomly crashes. Again, something I have not encountered before, but that bit about the pyromancer and the specific mods that may cause the crash was pretty wild, right? Because pyro is an extremely popular class and those are the exact mods you would be running on a standard Ash Blast build, so that is not good news right there. Continuing on with this Reddit article, and the Arkin isn't done yet, as he continues on with more crash explanations. Throughout our ongoing work on Outriders, we only encountered these issues for the first time when testing the latest patch. Using specific reproduction steps, we are able to trigger these crashes between 20 to 40% of the time. However, our recent community research indicates that both of these crashes may already be present in the game, but have never been formally diagnosed until now, because testing didn't encounter them. If this is the case, then this patch wouldn't actually introduce any new issues and could be considered quote-unquote safe. So there we go. The team is now able to somewhat reproduce the crashes, and like I said before, I have seen issue number 1 from time to time when a new patch goes live. However, issue number 2 I have never seen on PC, but it looks like that the testers were seeing these issues on enough of a reoccurring basis that they decided to pull back on yesterday's patch, go live, and test it out a few more days. Now in reality, the dev team is really locked into a damned if they do, damned if they don't scenario here, because if they did go live and it just started crashing, then players would immediately start posting that the game is still broken. But then when they delayed the patch, they still got those posts stating that we knew it was going to be delayed because that is pretty par for the course. Now for me, I want to see the game succeed. And the last thing we need is another rushed patch that causes more issues than it fixes. So by all means, make it work properly and then deploy it. Now, as this Reddit post continues on, and believe me, it continues on for quite a while, they list out 3 options that the team had before them, and I'm just going to paraphrase here. Option A was to release on time yesterday and just let the chips fall where they may. The concern here was that they only had partial information about the encountered crashes and ran the risk of introducing new issues into the game. Again, like I said, this would have been the worst possible scenario for the patch rollout, as Outriders cannot afford to take another misstep. Option B was to push back the patch indefinitely until the issues could be fully identified and tested, or Option C involved delaying the patch until Thursday to gather more information, including if these are new crashes or if they have been seen before in the live game. Obviously, the team went with Option C to delay until Thursday, asked the community if they have seen and or encountered these issues in the past, and asked the players for more clarification. So, a bit of a bummer here that we didn't get the patch when we expected it, especially because there are some really important core fixes in this patch that I have really wanted to test out, but I would much rather see something that functions on go live versus a patch that works intermittently and creates more issues than it should. Okay, so now that we've touched on why the patch was delayed and the different scenarios and options the team was presenting, let me now shift gears and backtrack to what is actually included in this new patch, because there's a lot going on here. I mean, we've got more Xbox sign-in enhancements. Good God, we're 3 months into this game and we're still talking about Xbox sign-in issues, bug fixes, rebalances, and hopefully in there we can finally get to use the Techno Borealis set and have the bonus damage actually function correctly. But potentially the biggest discussion point, and this could be changed in the future, was this topic for discussion bullet point aimed at anti-duplication improvements. And I know there are quite a few arguments on both sides of this one, but I wanted to weigh in for just a moment before ending this upload. Ever since the legendary drop rate buffs by 100%, I have finally started seeing those really rare pieces hit the ground. I was at nearly 350 hours playtime when the LEGO buffs occurred, and since that point, I have finally started seeing Akari body armor, lava leech helmets, and really rare weaponry finally hit the ground, and I believe this is in part due to the anti-dupe mechanics. And can I just say that I really think a lot of the misunderstanding here is how the team has named this mechanic versus how it actually functions. Now, the whole idea here is that if a legendary is about to drop, the game scans your character stash and backpack to determine if you already have that item. And if you do, it attempts to re-roll that potential drop back through the RNG system in an attempt to get you something you don't already own. Obviously, there's no guarantee with this system, and I still receive tons of duplicate items, but since that mechanic was installed, I have finally started to see those items that I could never get to drop. What the team probably should have called this is a loot re-roll mechanic, because that is actually what it is doing, but it does use the duplicate item as the trigger to begin the re-roll system. Now, I've seen players stating that they don't like the system because it prevents them from finding better versions of items they already own. Say like, for an example, an Amber Vault, and the one that they have has a firepower rating of 81k, and they obviously want a higher firepower version for their builds. But here is the thing. This system is still dropping tons of duplicate items, especially when you get nearer and nearer to having one of everything in the game. I must have 10 to 12 Amber Vaults spread across my 4 characters, yet yesterday, despite having one actually in my Devastator backpack, I got another one to drop with a firepower rating of 93k plus. Now just hear me out, because it's going to happen. You're going to be getting plenty of duplicate items to hit the ground that will have higher or lower ratings than you currently have. But just removing the anti-duplicate system is probably the absolute worst thing that can be done at this point. I mean, think about it. You just finished up Boomtown and you get 4 legendary items to drop. That means that all 4 of those items have gone through the RNG loot system and have been pre-selected. Now, before the anti-dupe system going live, those 4 items going through the system was it. They were there and that was it, and you were just stuck. Now, if those 4 items are initially determined to be duplicates to what you already have, all 4 will go back through the RNG system in an attempt to get you something new. I mean, for me personally, I would much rather have 8 attempts at the RNG system versus the old way of just 4 rolls, and then you get nothing but disappointment. Now, the answer to creating a bridge between the players that want the anti-dupe system and those that don't is really easy. It's staring us in the face, and that answer is Tiago. A dev needs to go into the coding on a weekly basis and manually change all 8 items to new additions that will be character specific. I commented to the dev post over on Reddit outlining my suggestions, but until he can be placed on an automatic rotation, this manual change system needs to happen, and it needs to happen now. Now, on top of the access to items that we may need or want for our builds, it would also give us the ability to spend our maxed out drop pod resources and incentivize players to hit higher and higher level CT missions for more and more drop pod resources. Tiago's shop is in the coding for the game, and therefore his wares are also there. If a dev can get in there and change them every week, this will go a long ways to building players' confidence in the loot and RNG systems Outriders employs. I'm going to end this one with an invite to our awesome Outriders community Discord server. Just check in this video description, click on the open invite link, accept those rules, and you are in. Once there, our moderators will be there to assist you, and we've got tons of resources and channels for builds, tips and tricks, and the popular LFG areas, or looking for groups for both carries and farming. Don't get frustrated with the limited matchmaking capabilities of the game, which after a lengthy wait will probably place you into a group that is either not doing the activities you want to do or is already AFK. Just join our Discord and be in a competent group using mics in a free voice chat room, hitting your desired content in a matter of minutes. Our Discord is designed to help you enjoy this game the way it was meant to be enjoyed. Trust me when I say that in the Discord, we've got every angle of Outriders covered for you and a whole lot more. As always, I look forward to reading your feedback in the comments section below. Don't forget to smash that sub button and ring the bell to receive all future upload notifications from my channel. If you could be so kind as to take the time to rate and or share this video, it would be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to find and follow me on Twitch for weekly streams, including Outriders CT carries with viewers, join my aforementioned community Discord server, and of course, follow me on Twitter, posting my thoughts on most things gaming related. Links to all of these platforms in the video description below. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.